fire. Our house is on fire. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. We love you. We hear you. We commit to change our ways. Not later, but sooner. Right now, for your future. Youth can't wait. Put out the fire. Women can't wait. Put out the fire. Blind can't wait. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For our children. Put out the fire. And their children. Put out the fire. And their children. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For songbirds. For cleaning. For the oceans and the blaze. Not later, but sooner. Right now, for our future. Melting glaciers, put out the fire. Rising seas, put out the fire. Bleaching coral, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Shrinking shoreline, put out the fire. Sinking island, put out the fire. Growing dry land, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Let bees live, let trees grow. Let the snow fall where it may. Not later, but sooner. Right now, for the future. Right now, for the future. Right now, we are here to put out the fire. This is how we put out the fire. Time is now, we put out the fire. Our house is on fire.
We're still here, and we're going strong, and we're getting tired of proving we belong. We're still here, and we're going strong, and we're getting tired of proving we belong. We're still here, and we're going strong, and we're getting tired of proving we belong. We're still
A letter to her kids was the last thing she wrote at a place in the Bronx where she lost all hope. She tried and tried to survive and provide for conditions she faced, but too much to take. Left her 4 children in the Philippines, to nanny in the States and send her back dreams. Cause that's the way it works in poor countries where there is no work and you have to leave. For little pay, long hours, no job benefits. Fired if you tell it, just the hell of it. Abuse is what they call it, and so is slavery. To be a migrant worker is a display bravery. I imagine a sacrifice, it brings me to tears. To not see your children for so many years. Fairly belonged in our land of liberty, but something went wrong when they took her dignity. Here, even when the smoke is clear, strong, even when the hope is gone. And we're getting tired of proving we belong, but we keep holding on. Here, even after all these years, strong, even when it all went wrong. We're getting tired of proving we belong, but we keep holding on.
Yo, we come a long way since long duck gone. Ridiculed for generations while they mock us and tongue with their chings, chunks, Rosie O'Donnell. But that joke's more dumb than George Dub and your mom. What? Oh, you wondering where I'm from? Is it confusing as color skin is of an American? Isn't this the land of opportunity, rights, and equals? Well, Hollywood likes to get agent roles to white people, but still we'll find a way to get on the tube. Props to your one and American dance crews, cause that's what I call reality TV. Smack in your face while I pack y'all handles beats. If you can't recognize, then widen your eyelids instead of pulling them back. Molly Cyrus. These blind kids be keeping the lies, know where your time's like a virus. But whatever, everything is in it, we did a gift, it's just to find us here. Even when the smoke is cleared, strong. Even when the hope is gone, cause we're getting tired of proving we belong. But we keep holding on here, even after all these years, strong. Even when it all went wrong, we're getting tired of proving we belong. But we keep holding on.
In the House and the Senate say we belong. We belong. We belong. On the TV and the radio, we belong. We belong.
If they mispronounce your name, say we belong. We belong. We belong. Stop searched on the plane, say we belong.
Here, though you choose not to see us, we ain't Ivy Leaguers and tequilas only. We that lonely testimony, your stories never told, cause you hold us up like trophies, like model minorities. But what about all the refugees of war? I speak for my Southeast Asian brethren. Peace to my family, grew up in Camp Pendleton, like a pendulum. It's back and it's forth. Half of us upper class, man, half of us is poor. Half of us is doctors studying healthcare. Half of us is babies having babies for welfare. That's a sign of our grief. When we miss home and we die in our sleep. So don't question why I'm inspired to speak. Cause against all odds, despite your beliefs, we're here. Even when the smoke is clear, strong. Even when the hope is gone, we're getting tired of proving we belong. But we keep holding on here. Even after all these years, strong. Even when it all went wrong, we're getting tired of proving we belong. But we keep holding on.
I've been thinking about the news. Daddy leaves it on all day through. I've been thinking about the wars, and to be honest, I can't take it anymore. I hear you every day, the awful words you say, but hate can't be the face of the American dream. I've been thinking about my life and how one day I want to be a mother and a wife. I've been scared of that thought too. In a world of struggle, what are we gonna do? I hear you every day saying it's gonna be okay, but hate can't be the face of the American dream. And I know we've got a long way to go, but I've got to believe that change is a choice and it can start with me. And I've been thinking about our mother and how they took her away from her people, put her in a boarding school, away from her brother, sister, and culture. I can hear her every night saying we've gotta make this right, 'cause hate can't be the face of the American dream. And I know we've got a long way to go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Unplugged. I am MILCK, and I'm going to be your host for the evening, coming to you from Fort Collins, Colorado. I am super excited to be here, so thank you for having me. For the next hour, we're going to celebrate the capacity of music and musician changemakers who profoundly impact our lives, our community, and our country. This is all part of Music to Life's Give and Grow Spring campaign, and we're really glad you're with us. For those of you who may not know who I am, it's okay. I would love to share with you a bit about my work and how I landed into the special space of social change and music.
Put it on your face. Know your place. Shut up and smile.
Something historic, the Women's March. On that day, a song emerged, co-written by a survivor of sexual abuse.
I can't keep quiet.
I remember looking at my phone and seeing the like counts and the retweet counts just accumulating faster and faster.
When we first wrote it, it cracked her open. From then on, she was never the same.
I get goosebumps thinking about how that phrase, I can't keep quiet, then became a phrase that so many people were using.
Not gonna be quiet
We're not
anymore.
gonna be quiet.
I got swept into the major label system. It was like the ride of a lifetime. I was like, I'm surfing this wave.
I thought that I was gonna be on the ride with her. Our paths went like this. It just broke off.
It's a system that had me question the integrity of what I created with another woman of color. And I just can't unsee certain things anymore. My ability to acknowledge my blind spots has been strengthened by this quarantine and the pandemic, really understanding the part I play as a daughter of Asian immigrants. I want to revisit Quiet with the woman who I wrote it with. What we created and what we continue to create now is enough.
Put on your face. Know your
This song was birthed from my micro experience of not feeling heard and seen in my own home. Perhaps this is becoming a macro experience now of a bunch of people not feeling seen or heard in their own home country. I realized I was so not alone.
All right, well, there you have it. Thank you to Yuri Chung for directing that documentary, and that's a bit of a trailer to share a bit of my journey. So thanks for watching that. And, I wanted to share in the spirit of Unplugged and celebrating the intersection of social change and music. I myself have gone through a big learning journey, and I think I will continue to, of navigating the waters of not only being an artist, but also being a human, trying to figure out how to keep resilience and to stay open amidst a lot of difficult and challenging current events. What I have found is that my path as musician, songwriter, and performer, while also being a social justice advocate, has really given me this chance to understand the power of creativity. Maxine Hong Kingston says, in a world of destruction, create something. And I have found through the past few years since my song went viral is that there have been continuous, streams of discouraging current global events. And when I actually take action to write out how I feel or to create an illustration, I go from feeling helpless to taking back my agency and remembering I'm also a creator as well. So for all of us watching, we all create in different ways. And we're going to be exploring a lot of really wonderful human beings who also take the power of creativity to alchemize the pain and the confusion into something that might be beautiful and might give us hope so that we can keep going. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be joined tonight by 3 incredibly talented musician changemakers who are also graduates of the Music to Life's Musician Changemaker Accelerator Academy. Super cool. This is a half-year incubator and training opportunity to empower musicians as social entrepreneurs. Here's a quick video on the program.
Can one musician really change the world? Actually, they can, but not how you might think. One model for using music for creating social change is to gather celebrities together, put on a big concert, inspire millions, and encourage activism to trickle down our neighborhoods. Think We Are the World, Live Aid, and other amazing historic music events. Global becomes local. But today's world is different. We all have the power of the media in our hands. One recording from a cell phone can coalesce a global movement. We are now local to global. And Music to Life understands this. We support movements that start small and grow, and grow, and grow. Solving a problem locally gives it the strength to scale and succeed beyond our wildest dreams. And that's exactly why we launched our Musician Changemaker Accelerator program. The Accelerator travels the country to help artists turn their creative ideas into effective, music-driven programs for communities in need. We offer them the support, resources, and training they need to do their vital work. We give them a toolkit of entrepreneurial skills to become a musical crisis response team, working to revitalize and empower their communities. Just a few of these enterprising artists can have a profound effect. Imagine if we had people like them deployed in every community across the nation. Imagine how that might scale, and you can understand how their influence could be positively revolutionary. The Musician Changemaker Accelerator puts musicians into action. Here's what some of our Accelerator graduates are creating: a music-centered program to foster resilience among young women of color, a hip-hop-based business curriculum to help students find their gifts and build real-world confidence, a music-driven therapeutic program to serve the parents and families of loved ones recovering from substance misuse, and a creative enrichment program for incarcerated men that uses music and writing to build courage and foster expression-based healing. Tonight you'll meet some of the artists and communities we're working with, and have the chance to join our movement to activate pioneering musician changemakers in every state of our nation. Because musicians can change the world when we help amplify them.
Wow, I wish this was around when I got started. Where can I sign up? Music to Life's academy and curriculum have now been assessed by Dartmouth College's Tuck School of Business, the Mellon Foundation, and American for the Arts, among others. Over the past 5 years, almost 50 musicians across genres and generations have engaged in the academy, honing their innovative and entrepreneurial ideas to tackle economic, racial, environmental challenges through music. They're actually building measurable, sustainable programs like healing circles for those suffering from substance misuse, teaching English as a second language through song, and instilling confidence and hope in incarcerated men through rap music and poetry. These are amazing programs. And another amazing thing to me is within a year of Music to Life's Academy training, these artists are generating an average of $35,000 in grants, contracts, and partnerships for their communities, the people they work with, and themselves. I'm thrilled to be introducing some of these accomplished artists to you tonight. So without further ado, let's meet the first guest. The man you're about to meet, Saxon Kincy, went from being homeless to becoming an esteemed rap professor, a father, husband, and international multi-hyphenate talent in the course of just 2 years. Saxon is a rapper from Denver, Colorado, who has performed internationally and has been featured on hit films like Malcolm and Marie and Someone Great, and numerous national commercials, including Nike. He now dedicates his work to improving the lives of children through music. Saxon will tell us about his current project and journey through Music to Life's MCA Academy. Please welcome Saxon Kincy.
Thank you. It's great to be here. My name is Saxon Kincy, aka Old Man Saxon. I am a hip-hop artist from Denver, Colorado, and also a graduate of the Music to Life Academy. The problem that I was trying to address when I first started with Music to Life was to fill a void, something that I had with myself with making music. As a rapper, I think you try to emulate the top most successful rappers, and that's something that I was doing. But once I would finish with the song, it just didn't feel right. Right? There was something in me that was, I just didn't. It wasn't as fulfilling as when I first started making music, right? So there was a void in me that I was trying to fulfill by joining this academy, and also fill a void in hip hop, because there's not a lot of positive driven mainstream hip hop, and I just felt like I was a person that could add to that positivity. My very first project of going into music to life was I actually even have to remember it. It was more of like a therapy session for adults, for men, specifically men of color, to talk about their feelings, right? And then to make songs about their feelings. And then I think we got to maybe the second class, and I started to realize that I wanted to work with kids more, right? And so I started my very first kids project in Music to Life was creating a fictional character called Boo Boo Owie. And he was a fictional character that was based in the future, Afrofuturism, just this amazing world, right? And in creating Boo Boo Owie, I started to think about how I was as a kid and how I didn't envision my future, right? And in doing some deep dive about my childhood trauma, I realized that there was a space for me to help kids. So once I started getting my project a little bit more cemented, it turned into almost a research project. It ended up being, all right, I only saw myself living to 24 years old. Why is that? When I was younger, I remember hearing two songs in particular. One was Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day. In that, he says, hooked it up for later as I hit the dough, thinking, will I live another 24? As an 8-year-old, I was thinking he was talking about 24 years. He was talking about one day, 24 hours. And then the next year, it was Coolio. He had a song called Gangster's Paradise. In Gangster's Paradise, he says, I'm 23 now. Will I live to be 24? The way things is going, I don't know. And as an 8-year-old, that was mind-blowing to me. Like 24 years old, that's what I got, right? And for me, that really highlighted the impact that music has on young minds, right? And so I started going into schools and asking students, what's your favorite type of music? Well, who's your favorite artist? And then what is the maximum age you see yourself in the future? And the research, the numbers that I got behind that were ridiculously shocking because it mirrored my story, right? There were kids that were listening to hip hop, and specifically certain type of mainstream hip hop that glorifies violence. These kids were seeing themselves to 19 years old, 19, early 20s, right? And that shocked me. It was just unbelievable. And so for the first parts of my project, it was this research project. All right, how do I find out if hip hop is affecting these kids' ability to see their future? And then something hit me. What if I'm wrong, right? What if I'm just wrong about this? And then I'm doing this research and I was wrong. And it hit me. This project that I'm doing, these music workshops for the youth, even if I'm wrong, it still needs to be there, still needs to be in these children's lives. Because after that first project pilot program where these kids were seeing themselves to 19 years old, after it was done, these same kids were seeing themselves to 70 years old, right? And so it got me to a place where I could create this workshop without the thought of, oh, you know what? I was right about my research. It just was this workshop now is there to foster character development for these children, to, get them to do goal setting for themselves. And it completely turned on its head at the end of the MCA Academy. And it's been going ever since. Come on, y'all. So my program's called Three Things. It's a music workshop for the youth. And so this workshop that I'm doing is I go into elementary, middle schools, and high schools, and we learn how to make a song from the ground up, from beat making to mixing to lyrics. And the only stipulation is the song cannot be about death. It cannot be derogatory to women, and it has to be in some way about your future. And as a person who wrote an album that was about being homeless and slept in the back of his car for 13 months, I have found that there is there's something really cool about creating art through restriction, right? And when you're not able to talk about everything in the world, right? And your focus is, I'm going to talk about my future. You start to see yourself in the future in a way where how you see yourself in the future doesn't immediately tie to your profession. As adults, we say, hey, well, kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that's it. That's the only thing you think about your future. And you don't think about what age that is or anything. And so my workshops teach children how to make music from the ground up while fostering a brighter outlook about their future. Something that the Academy really helped me realize was being in the room with like-minded people. I remember probably the second class I was there, I told the class, I feel like I found my people, right? And that has been such a big motivator on the success of my project, right? Finding like-minded people that want to do the same thing, help people through music, right? It was such a foreign idea to me until I got into MCA. And yeah, now and you know what else it did was help me get over my introvert-itis, I'll call it, right? Like, I have been going out and meeting people, and even the first funding that I got for my project was meeting face to face. And it's something that I've been scared to do, but being in that Zoom room with like-minded people, sharing ideas about how to get funding, about how to help people through music, it was something that I'll never forget, honestly. It was really, really helpful. Well, I just did another performance with some children, another vocal performance. What I will say is the one thing that it's changed about me performing is when I'm doing these kids choir shows, there's 100 kids behind me singing these songs. And one of the first rules I learned about performing is you don't turn your back to the audience. But because I'm like so moved by these kids singing my song, I pretty much spend the whole time performing with my back to the audience, just looking at these children.
Needing some healing to start today. Watch your spot, yeah, watch your place. Want you to know there's a smarter way to go about relieving the older route. That's right, we showing out. I was taught love was a chain reaction, but how it's looking, it got me asking. Why's been so taboo?
But as far as like other things, nothing really fits video wise as much as the perils, because that was the initial shift in how I felt about making music. I was in a place, homeless, no money, nothing, no partner, no girlfriend, no nothing, right? And in a genre, hip hop, where you are supposed to talk about what you have, I was in I'm homeless. Everything that I was talking about until then got me homeless. So it wasn't working. I didn't have money. None of it was working. And so I decided to write an album about it. And that was the change in my mindset, that there's a different way to portray hip hop. That it doesn't always have to be about what I have. It doesn't always have to fit the mainstream view for you to be successful. And I think that's the other thing that I'm teaching these children, is about what it means to be successful. It's not just about money. It's about what your art does. And I mean, in the context of making music, it's about what your art does and how it affects people. For me to write an album about being homeless, and for people to reach out to me, people who are also homeless, this was a specific story to me. This was only my story. So any other praise that I got saying, or any comments that I got saying, hey, I'm homeless too, was the most bizarre thing. And I like to show my students this video to say, hey, this is what I did. And if you listen to this verse, you listen to these verses, not a single thing that I said was a lie. Not a single thing that I said was about having money. The only time I spoke about having any money was in the future, right? How am I going to get it? And that really resonates with the children, to see that, oh, I can be successful without sacrificing my beliefs.
Wow. Thank you, Saxon. What an amazing example of reclaiming your narrative and moving forward on your own terms. That really reminds me of some of the work that I'm doing. I wrote a song for my mom, and it's called Oh Mother.
Oh, mother, where do I start? How do I mend myself without breaking your heart? 1,000 songs I've written for everyone else. The one that belongs to you collects dust on the shelf. 'Cause we're complicated, we're up and we're down, we're right and we're wrong. We let the bottom fall out when we're blind with emotion, when words turn to shouts. We keep making it hard to want to stick around. But I keep showing up, 'cause you and I, we're still growing up. We try, I'm not running anymore, yeah, I'll keep knocking.
And I actually wrote it a long time ago, and the reason why it never got released, when I was with a label, I had shared that music, and I wanted to make a family album, and it was considered not universal enough at that point, because they felt like my immigrant family could not reflect that. And so I was really disappointed at that time. And now I've taken the power back, because that song, Oh Mother, has actually birthed an entire musical that I am working with La Jolla Playhouse. And the themes of that musical address with joy and with a holistic integrity what it feels like to be in a family that has moved across the world and is still thriving and still persisting and building a life that really feels authentic to them. And so thank you, Saxon, for reminding me of why it's important to reclaim our narratives and to move forward on our own terms. Now, here's a word from Music to Life's co-founder, Noel Paul Stuckey.
Hi, Noel Paul Stuckey here. I'm the Paul with Peter, Paul, and Mary, and co-founder of Music to Life, and inviting you to become Unplugged and join our first annual Spring Give and Grow campaign. In a world filled with noise and ever-growing challenges, music, thankfully, still has the power to bring us together, to uplift our spirits, and to inspire change. As a singer-songwriter, I can tell you that every melody created, every moving lyric has a backstory of inspiration, dedication, and often perseverance in the face of financial struggle. And now, through performance platforms and a national network, Music to Life is helping artists move sustainably beyond the stage to serve their communities without having to decide between supporting a cause or making a living. Tonight's artists, and the ones you see on screen right now, are social entrepreneurs in training. When they graduate from Music to Life's Academy program, for example, they will go on to generate an average of $35,000 for the issues and communities they're working for. Since our goal is to raise $75,000 by June 30th, that's a pretty solid return on investment, hey? So I hope you'll join me in supporting Music to Life's work with hundreds of musician changemakers and their transformational projects across the country. Please scan the QR code on the screen here and donate as generously as you're able. Come, grow with us. Music to Life.
Thanks so much, Noel. Next up, I am pleased to introduce award-winning singer-songwriter and Kentucky-born artist Carla Gover. Carla performs original and traditional Appalachian music with themes of social justice and uplifting Appalachia. She's won a number of awards for her songwriting, including the Kerrville New Folk Award and Merle Fest's Chris Austin Songwriting Contest. She's the artistic director for the bilingual folk opera, Cornbread and Tortillas, and she has been recognized by the Kentucky Arts Council as a master artist in flatfoot dancing. I would love to see that. Let's hear from Carla herself about her project and work with Music to Life. Give it up for Carla Gover.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here. Hi, my name is Carla Gover, and I am from Kentucky. I perform traditional Appalachian music and dance, and I'm also a singer-songwriter. I'm a graduate of the Music to Life Academy, and I am part of a program called Cornbread and Tortillas, which is a bilingual and multicultural collective whose aim is to build community between traditional Appalachian and Kentucky cultures and immigrant cultures that live here, particularly the Latinx community. So one of the reasons that I was interested in joining the Academy is to gain some new skills because even though I have always been a performing singer-songwriter, touring musician, and I've always been interested in and have used my music as a tool for social justice, especially because of the background I have in the coal fields of Appalachia. What I realized is, as we were putting together this show that was bigger than anything I had done, there were 7 people in the cast. It was more like a theatrical production, and it had a whole lot of different moving parts that I wasn't used to. And I felt like, and indeed it proved to be true, that the Academy was a really good fit for helping fill in some of the gaps in my skill sets and just take our project to the next level. That was really my ultimate goal, was to make what we already were doing bigger and better and ready for bigger stages. While many people are called to different forms of activism, some people aren't called to activism at all, but even among those of us who have a desire to make a change in the world, for me, I have always gravitated to music because I know how powerful it is. And I feel like the messages that music contains can just go straight into people's hearts, straight into people's minds, and hopefully affect change on deeper and more powerful levels than just giving a lecture or a talk or carrying a sign. And I've done all those things too, but there's just something really potent and powerful about music that we're tapping into. There's a lot of emotion flying when it comes to issues of immigration, when it comes to issues of tradition and heritage, especially in the South. There have been a lot of really charged conversations, and there there's a lot of misunderstanding. And we find that when we come together in celebration of our different communities, when we're sharing our traditions, we're sharing our foodways, we're sharing our folklore, our dancing, and our music, it actually opens people's hearts, and it's more of a sermon than an actual sermon to me. And we've seen it in action. We've seen the ways that it can transform people's perception and understanding, and help people feel a sense of solidarity in a way that more conventional forms of protest or activism sometimes don't. So the Cornbread and Tortillas Collective, I like to say we bring a lot of bang for the buck when a presenter hires us, because we have this beautiful 7-person stage show that features storytelling, music, and dance from Appalachia, Latin America, South America, from Mexico, from the Andes. And it's a very dynamic show. People really enjoy it. The Andean flutes, the charango, the ballet folklorico from Mexico. I do flat footing and clogging, and then we have just tons of instruments and tons of music. But community outreach is also very important to us, and we have many options that we tailor to each presenter's need. So we do flat footing and clogging workshops. We do ballet folklorico workshops. Sometimes we combine the two. We have an Andean music and culture workshop where a couple of the guys show all the different flutes. One of the guys is actually an instrument maker. He shows how he makes the flutes, and then he demonstrates the stringed instruments from the Andes as well. We have a bilingual community sing-along with a booklet that we made that goes along with it, and we sing songs in English and Spanish, folk songs from North and South America, and people always really enjoy that. And then we also have a educational assembly called From Appalachia to the Andes. That's a 4-piece group, and it's sort of a miniature and kid-friendly version of our stage show. And then we also have a quartet that just plays traditional Appalachian string band music called the Corn Maze String Band. And all of those are under the umbrella of Cornbread and Tortillas. And sometimes when we go to a town, if we do a longer residency, we will do almost all of those in some capacity. So it's really fun. It gives us variety. I think being in the Academy, one thing it did was helped me, and consequently my cast with whom I was sharing the things that I was learning, to think bigger, to have a bigger concept of what we're capable of, especially being inspired by some of the accomplishments and activities of my fellow Academy students. So that was one change. And I think for me, being in the Academy, it's not so much how the project evolved as it was how I evolved, because sometimes this work, even when you're working, I have a cast, I have bandmates, but it can be kind of lonely, and you can feel like you're just out there on the front lines all alone. And there was such a powerful sense of community in the Academy. Like, even if I go weeks or months without talking to any of the people that I went through the Academy with, just knowing that they're out there, just hearing about the work that they're doing, it's a source of hope. And I believe that we all have to really work to keep hope alive in this climate, but especially those of us who are artists, it's almost like a sacred duty. And so it was a big shot in the arm for my hopefulness. So one sort of unexpected but really positive thing that came out of our time is that we had sort of worked piecemeal with a few fiscal sponsors here and there, but the mentors that we were working with in the Academy encouraged us to find a fiscal sponsor with whom we could have a more long-term agreement, and to create a memorandum of understanding to work with that organization. And so we wound up partnering with an organization in my hometown in Letcher County, Kentucky, which was devastated by a flood about 1.5 years ago. And so we have been cultivating this long-term, more involved relationship with them, even though I was already really involved there and going back and doing work. We're taking the whole cast down there next summer. We've already taken the cast down there once. And so it's been a really rich partnership, and a different way of thinking about building those kinds of relationships with nonprofits. Instead of project-based for like a single project, it has helped us think about projects that last longer, maybe have more impact over time. So that was pretty cool. Everything that we do, leaves its mark on us and leaves its impression. But for me, the last few years and the Musician Changemaker Academy was kind of a cherry on top of this process. I feel that I have really become a lot more empowered. I feel like I have a truer sense of who I am in the world, what my role is in the world, and I have more fully inhabited my identity as a social justice artist. And the Academy certainly, just check, just boosted that part of our identities, which is really important because one of the things that we talked about in the group is that as a young artist, there are many different opportunities and ways to get validated and nurtured. And, there's things that you take part in, as part of your school or whatnot. But as an adult artist, there's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of just feels like you're casting your art and your work into the void and hoping you're making a difference, not always knowing if you are. And so just having the validation of a group of mentors that you respect, number one, select you for this academy, and then number two, spend so much time, effort, money on nurturing you and developing you. It's like saying, what you do is important and we take you seriously. And that, I don't care who you are, that's going to make a mark on you. It's going to make a change. And I'm really grateful. So this is a video of a song that I wrote called Home. It is more in English than Spanish, but it also has a Spanish chorus. And we recorded it as a collective with Cornbread and Tortillas. And we got a local filmmaker to help us make the video. And in it, we wanted to show these images of communities coming together, rural and urban, Latinx communities, Appalachian community. We wanted to show some of the activities that are meaningful to us, the community square dances, the concerts, the gathering in the park and having supper together, and just really sort of make it a feel-good. Here are some commonalities that we all have as humans. Here are ways that we all celebrate. And we just wanted to show the solidarity and the brotherhood and sisterhood.
I walk a crooked road from the cradle to the grave. I play crooked tune along the way. Sometimes I lose my way and I wonder where to turn. Is there some lesson here that I just can't learn? Melody playing over every song I've known, calling me home. I stumble on the path when it gets too dark to see. I need to fan the flame of the light in me, and all the ones I love who are living in my heart. They really shine me through all the hardest parts. El ritmo es lo que pulsa en cada corazón. Escucha la canción. step into the sun and I smile at what I see. I am becoming now what I'm meant to be. Melody playing over every song I've known, calling me home. El ritmo es lo que pulsa en cada corazón. Escucha la canción.
Wow, let's hear it for Carla. I love how she is putting so much work into sustaining and preserving Appalachian culture, music, and dance. I would love to see more of this in mainstream media. Really great stuff. I really appreciated how Carla talked about music being able to do things beyond what other more traditional mediums can do. I have found that as a musician who cares about social change work, I feel like I have this chance to really clarify what I want my impact to be moving forward. And what I've noticed as I've continued to walk in the social change space is that inner peace begets outer peace, and that is the biggest truth. And accountability is also something that is very, very powerful. So I hope to continue to be open and honest and a forever student to not only the process of making art, but also the process of sharing the art with people and working with the people in social change spaces and also music industry spaces. What I'm really learning is that community and the people that we surround ourselves with is everything. And I'm really inspired by how Carla does her work and hope I can continue to emulate qualities of her work as well in my own life. It is my pleasure now to introduce Rissi Palmer. This Southern soul musician was the first African American woman to chart a country song since Donna Mason in 1987. Rissi has toured extensively around the country and is a special correspondent for CMT's Hot 20 Countdown. She even hosts her own radio show on Apple Music, and it's called Color Me Country with Rissi Palmer, where she amplifies the voices of country artists of color and those who have been marginalized in mainstream country music. In conjunction with her radio show, Rissi created the Color Me Country Artist Grant Fund, designed to support new country artists of color who are just beginning to build their music careers. That's really cool. Let's hear about her growth and the evolution of her project through Music to Life's MCA Academy. Please welcome Rissi Palmer.
Thanks so much. It's great to be here. My name is Rissi Palmer. I am in Durham, North Carolina, and I was a member of the Music to Life class cohort. During my time in the cohort in the class, I was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted my nonprofit to focus on. I have a nonprofit that is now called the Color Me Country Foundation, and it's an artist grant already and has been since 2021, but I wanted to kind of figure out what else did I want to do? Like, what else could I focus on? I came to music as a mode of change making very accidentally. I have always had a very strong sense of justice and fairness and just wanting things to be truly equal and truly fair. And I can remember as a kid being angry about stuff when I didn't think it was fair. But, like most artists, I was very, very focused on myself for most of my career, I would say. And then I think what really changed it for me was 2020. And the culmination of all of my experiences in country music, I'm a Black woman, and I am one of only 8 Black women to ever chart in country music. And, I've had a lot of harrowing experiences as a result of being different. And, for years, I've had artists come to me and ask me questions and want to know how and why. And as an independent artist for the past 13 years, I have had to navigate a lot of this on my own. And so the advice that I give is truly from experience. And I just believe that there's a better way to do all of this. So anyway, back to 2020, when, suddenly our culture was dealing with, our country and our culture was dealing with racial reckoning and trying to make sure that, again, things were just and fair and equal. I saw an opportunity to advocate for people just like me that were trying to figure this out and were trying to just simply make music. Like that's really all anybody wants to do at the end of the day. And so many gatekeeping and hurdles and roadblocks were preventing so many people from doing that. When I came to the Academy, I already, as I stated before, had a artist grant fund that had been established in 2021 called the Color Me Country Artist Grant Fund. And basically, we would give micro grants of $500 to $1,000 to artists of color who were pursuing careers in country music, roots music, Americana music, and bluegrass. And I had just acquired nonprofit status. And so I wanted to try to figure out like, what's next? What's bigger? And so when I first started, I thought maybe I wanted to go into like artist development and to take the funds that I was given and continue to develop artists and people and that sort of thing. And as I learned more in the Academy, doing the classes, listening to the different speakers, and really doing a lot of self introspection on what it is that I really wanted to do, I realized that's not what I was interested in at all. And that what really interests me and what really gets me going is history and the preservation of history. And particularly of artists of the past, and making sure that they're not forgotten, making sure that they're compensated, and making sure that, there's a way made for their families to continue to preserve their legacies. And so from the Academy, I started developing a program that I am in the process now of writing grants for, is a project called Hidden Treasures. And so Hidden Treasures seeks to do restorative justice work in addition to storytelling about artists of the past, and to figure out the pipeline of money and royalties that often misses artists of color, especially those that made music during the 60s and the 70s, because the music business is a wild place. And so I wanted to make sure, like, so much of this music is not even available on streaming now because it's in someone's attic in a box. And so much of it never made it to being digitized. It's all on vinyl or it's on tape in a lot of instances. And so what I seek to do with Hidden Treasures is to tell the stories of these artists, and also to figure out where exactly is the publishing going, where are the royalties going, how can we get it on streaming on all the DSPs, and how can we make sure that their family is benefiting from it. And we've already started phase 1, and I hope to be working on phase 2 by the fall. The end goal for all of this is actually to turn it into a show. And so people can, and we're documenting all of the steps of what's happening so that we can use that in the show, so people can be on this journey with me while we figure this all out and get in touch with family members and that sort of thing. So a lot of research being done right now. The Academy was really great at getting me to like focus. I'm a person that has a lot of ideas, and a lot of ideas at once. And so, I find myself sometimes at 3 a.m. thinking and typing things in my phone to remember to do the next day, because I'm like, oh, I want to do this and I should do this. And what I need to call this person. I need that. So because I'm a mother, because I'm an artist, because I'm a radio show host, I don't often get to focus on one thing very often. And this made me sit down and for several hours a week, think about this one thing. And it made all the difference in the world, because I was all over the place with what I wanted to do. I think there were like 5 different things that I wanted to do with the nonprofit when I first got here. And I realized that, number one, from a lot of the classes that we took, there are lots of organizations doing some of the things that I already wanted to do. So why try to reinvent the wheel? And then number 2, creating an identity for what it is that I do and what I wanted to do. Because again, because there were like 6 different things, there's no real identity. Like, it's like, what do you do? Like, what is your specialty? What makes you special? And with my radio show, I've already kind of set the tone that I'm someone who enjoys history. I'm someone who enjoys telling these stories. And I'm someone who enjoys uplifting, people and making sure that there is representation for everyone. So taking all those things and all the things that are associated with the Color Me Country brand, I was able to say, okay, this is a really logical, great place for me to go and for me to focus on. So I'm extremely thankful for that. I don't know that I would have come to that conclusion quite as quickly had I not been involved in the classes. The video that I'd like to share with you all is my song, Still Here. It's a duet between myself and Miko Marks. And although I love the song, because the song is about perseverance, I really love the video for this song, and I'll tell you why. The video was shot while we were in Leicestershire in the UK at the Long Road Festival, which is a country and Americana festival. And I had my own stage for the day called the Color Me Country Takeover Stage. Why is that important? Well, I was able to take 5 women of color who are all country and Americana artists and took them over, all expenses paid, thanks to donations to the Artist Grant Fund. And they were all of these women were at various starting points, pivotal moments in their career, whether it was they were just signed to a record deal, or they just put out their first singles, or, they were restarting their careers. And we had an amazing time. We had a crowd the entire day that we were there. People did not leave. In fact, more people came. And it was just a really special, almost electric kind of feeling. And, we've been invited every year since. And that's just to me, it exemplifies the type of work that Color Me Country Foundation does and wants to continue to do. And the kind of stuff that I want to be a part of and that I want to do. I don't want to just succeed on my own. I want to succeed with the team. And that's what this video shows. And so I hope you get the energy. I hope you get the love and the excitement and just how special the moment was.
Miko, we're about to go to London.
I know. I'm so excited. We're about to do some real work together, some music together.
Thank you so much, Rissi. I just appreciate so much how Rissi is creating more of a platform for underrepresented artists in the country music genre. And she's also making sure that country music continues to diversify itself. People like Rissi are very important for the healthy evolution of the music industry. So thank you, Rissi. All right, one more time, let's check in with Noel about the ways you can ensure the future impact of these incredible artists who are touching our communities with their innovative musical programming every day.
Hi, folks. It's me again, Noel Paul Stuckey. I'm back again to remind you that Unplugged is part of our bigger Spring Give and Grow campaign. Our fiscal year closes on June 30th, and our goal is $75,000. With the help of donors just like you, we are orchestrating a movement of hundreds of musician changemakers across the country. Music to Life trains these musicians as social entrepreneurs, stepping off their stage to creatively address issues of economic, environmental, and racial justice. As we help build their skills and expand their networks, they are each generating tens of thousands of dollars for the issues we all care about. Musician by musician, community by community, note by note, Music to Life is improving the way music can build a better world. Thanks to all of you who have supported our effort over these years, and thanks to you who are contributing for the very first time this year, maybe tonight. We deeply appreciate it. Our artists appreciate it. And hey, here's our hardworking Music to Life team to share their appreciation.
It's wonderful to be here with you tonight. We really appreciate all of the ways that you give.
Thank you for every dollar and every moment that you share with us and with others.
Thank you for growing with us. We couldn't do this work without you.
Yahoo! Please, won't you help us keep growing with a generous donation to the Give and Grow campaign? Scan the QR code on your screen, or hey, click the link in the comments. Much thanks to you from Music to Life.
Thanks again, Noel. We appreciate the vision you and your daughter Liz are manifesting to put music and musicians to work around the issues we all care about. I'm thinking about all three of these incredible change-making musicians, and it makes me think about a couple things. First, the power of songs and the power of words. And I'm going to come back to that because I was also thinking about how challenging it is right now to persevere, because it feels like sometimes when we say the wrong words or don't say the right ones, we can feel like we're doing something wrong. And it can feel like discouraging and scary. And I can admit fully that sometimes I just want to hide away and close all the windows and just, play it safe in my own life. But as a songwriter, I understand the power of one word. Songs, when I write a song, there's a real estate, and there's 3.5 minutes usually about, right? And if I shift one word, it can change the entire energy and direction of a song. And what I'm seeing right now is that there's an opportunity for us to change how we speak about and to each other. Words are so important. And so I have hope, because the more that we look at how we speak about others and ourselves and the things we want, using words that are inviting can change relationships, change dynamics of a conversation. And that's what actually keeps me moving forward. So just want to give kudos to these three change makers and to anyone else out there who is wanting to continue staying involved in the state of the world. We have an ability to sculpt beautiful ideas and to represent our heart, as long as we take a bit of more time to really look at what words we're using to express ourselves.
All these changes feel like that. still pounding in my chest. I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise. I can see my breath. All these changes won't kill me yet. Ooh, I was born for this. Ooh, metamorphosis. Give it a little more time, a little more time. When wings I will try. Ooh, I was born for this. Been through pain and growth like teenage boys. I find strength in the faith of letting go. I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise. Here I go. Oh, pain and growth, you feed my soul. Ooh, I was born for this. Ooh, metamorphosis. Give it a little more time, a little more time. When wings I will try. A little more time, a little more time. Meant for greater heights. Chases me, feels like death, but I believe it's for the best. Guide the tides, take it back. I'm finally ready. Give it a little more time, a little more time. Meant for greater heights. A little more time, a little more time. When wings I will try. Ooh, I was born for this.
We wanted to thank you all again for supporting Music to Life's work to empower artist changemakers in their inspiring music-driven programs across the country. It's been such an honor to be your host. Again, I am MILCK, and you can keep in touch with me. There are some links in the chat. But more importantly, I want you to keep in touch with Music to Life. You can scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the bio for more information. I've been so deeply inspired tonight. I hope you have been too. I know you have. So please take that inspiration and remind yourself that that lives within you as well. Please be kind to yourself, and please know that your presence and your openness to the world and continuing to be brave and open in these difficult times matters so much to the community around you. I am MILCK. I am signing off and sending so much love from Fort Collins. Have a wonderful evening.
Put out the fire, put out the fire, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Put out the fire, put out the fire, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. We love you, we hear you, we commit to change our ways, not later, but sooner, right now, for your future. Youth can't wait, put out the fire. Women can't wait, put out the fire. Blind can't wait, put out the fire. is on fire. For our children, put out the fire. And their children, put out the fire. And their children, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For songbirds, for cleaning, for the oceans and the blaze. Not later, but sooner. Right now, for our future. Melting glaciers, put out the fire. Rising seas, put out the fire. Bleaching coral, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Shrinking shore.